Cancer. Thanks for dropping in with me. I'm here to do the dive into your collective energy as we check out what awaits you during this gateway of initiation that we're all passing through with Leo season. It's been coming up in the downloads for a while. This is a month of big change. There's a lot of action going on. There's some important stuff in particular happening with Mars that will fuel our fire, give us a vision for the future, but also put us to the fire as far as testing our mettle and require us to make some practical adjustments with planets like Saturn and Pluto on the scene, really making sure we're doing the work. And I got some interesting energy that came in for you initially. This is for any Cancer placement, or if you have a prominent placement in the 4th house. Also, if you're a Capricorn rising, that makes you a Cap. Some of you may be dealing with Capricorns, because I wanted to say Capricorn again, Cancer rising. It's funny because I did feel like some other energies trying to insert themselves into your read. And just the general energy coming in. Just as I was tapping in, I did have Gemini come in for you. Some of you may be dealing with a Gemini. I did sort of feel like that may have just been a little bit of trail over energy that came in with the Gemini read I just completed, but I did a lot of cleansing in between. I did a lot of cleansing with bay leaf, okay? This might be interesting sync coming in here. Oh, how did this end up in here? Selenite ended up in here with the bay leaf. Okay, I'm being called to it right now, so I'm going to bring it in. You might need to do a little cleansing around a Gemini. Something might need to be transmuted there. I got this message that came in for you that you've been dealing with what you would consider sort of like a bad luck cycle for a while. I did hear born under a bad name. So I could see that as almost being like a pox that's on the ancestral bloodline. Something maybe you're here to break. Maybe you are a curse breaker, okay? This could be related around some kind of curse, okay? And when I say curse, I don't necessarily mean like working magic, you know, putting something on somebody, laying roots on somebody, nothing like that, but it could be, okay? I also mean slander, gossip, things of this nature, the words we use, right? Need for mindfulness around this. I did pick up this piece about words that have been used toward you in judgment. I feel like somebody has gaslit you. You dealt with this. They made you feel like you were crazy to believe something, or how could your perspective be so off, or in some way tried to put some kind of shame on you, or told you in some way that what you were doing was not right, or they knew a better way for you to do it. It's very diminishing, okay? Maybe somebody wanted to kind of like put you in your place or cut you down to size, something like this, all right? There might be like some icky energy there that you've kind of taken on. I feel like you got your own way of doing things, Cancer. It's very unique. And there's nothing wrong with how you do things. You got your own rhythm. And I feel like you're really being asked to own that right now and not take on shame from others that has been put on you, or judgment from others that has been put on you. You might want to do some cleansing, though. I do feel this, because what I got in dropping in with your energy is that it feels like you got a crossed condition, okay? What is a crossed condition? A crossed condition is like, well, there can be a few different sources for a cross condition. One of the most simplest ways to develop cross condition is that we fixate on something so much. This can be a problem or something that's bothering you. It can be a person that's irritating you. It could just be some way in your life that you just feel like you're struggling with something and you can't get to the other side of it. And it's an irritation. So it's sort of like, when something's healing, you're trying to heal from something maybe. And there's something there that it just makes you have to like just pick at it. It's like a scab, right? And so it's like delaying the healing that needs to happen. And yet it keeps getting activated. So this can be like a circular thought, or looking back on a situation over and over and over and over again, fixating on a particular thing. It could be words that somebody said to you, judgments that somebody put on you. It could even be stuff from like when you were a kid, stuff people said about you that like shamed you or like put you in your place or made you feel shy about sharing yourself some way. It can be as an adult, but it still takes you back to that place where you feel like, it makes you feel sensitive. It makes you feel vulnerable. And it also maybe at times in your life did make you kind of go more into the shadows and keep quiet, or not, bring your insight forward or share yourself in a particular way. I did get it coming in really strongly around dance for some reason, and that dance is extremely healing for you. There could have been somebody who shamed you for your dance. They shamed you for your creative expression, right? I think the more that you can really own this at this time, the better off it will be for you. Okay, just as a side note. But in general, the energy, when it continually is focused on, it can sort of create a knot. It can create a knot. It can create a condition that holds us in place. And so we have to learn how to unravel that. Sometimes that can be from, if we're doing spiritual work, okay, and maybe we're not doing it in the most conscious way, or perhaps we don't really truly know the full scope of a situation, and so we do something thinking that we're being self-protective, or we're doing something that is in alignment with what is best needed in the situation to remedy a condition or remedy an inequity. Sometimes we could not have that right, especially if we're trying to manipulate an outward situation. That can form a crossed condition, all right, because it can keep the energy in a holding pattern. It attaches you to the energy. Anytime that there's any influence on another, the energy is also tying you up with it. This is what people who do workings on other people or even for other people don't realize, that their energy can become really entangled with another. Now, bringing this piece in, this is interesting. So for those who do spiritual work, I want to bring it in. Let's say you do spiritual work for other people. This can even be prayer. This can be, working with different kinds of healing methods to help somebody out with a problem, but you're approaching it from a spiritual angle, all right? Where you're helping them overcome somebody that maybe they feel that they are being disempowered by, something like this, okay? You think you're doing something good, but you're only getting one side of the story. So you don't really know the other side of the equation. It can be like an interference in the way a certain justice needs to roll out, or a way a karma needs to be balanced in a situation that can loop you into that karmic loop, and it can tie you in a knot. So be mindful if you do spiritual work for other people, what you're taking on, the responsibility of that, okay? This can also be because somebody, was messing around in your energy, and maybe you took the energy on, you formed an energetic agreement with it. Because if somebody is doing workings like that, they won't affect you if you do not form energetic agreement. We're all responsible for our own boundaries, what we allow ourselves to take on, and what we say, no, you can be on your way, okay? That applies for people, places, situations. It also applies to our energy. and how we exchange energy, what we allow energetically in. All right. I feel like somebody projected some shame on you along the way. Somewhere along your lifeline up to this point, somebody projected shame on you. And I want to bring it through in that way. I want to bring it through in that way because I feel like this is something that could be very long standing. This could be something that you've been trying to find redemption from since you were a kid, to be honest with you. Some of you feel like you were born with it. You don't know where it came from. Perhaps it's ancestral, it's an ancestral wound that you're here to heal through your courage to actually enter through the wound and get to the light on the other side of that. I feel like you're really in a process now of stepping out of any shadows that somebody has projected upon you and stepping into the light that you're here to embody and you're here to share with others. You have gifts you're here to share. And you're not going to kiss up to anybody. You're not going to put them in a position over you. You don't have to earn your place in anybody's life by kissing up to them or making them feel that you're worthy in their eyes. It's not about that. I feel this energy coming through for you. It's coming through really strongly. So I think you've been grappling with some really deep stuff here. You hold your own power in your own right. You're stepping into it now. I feel this very powerfully for you. I also feel that you could really benefit from an uncrossing. An uncrossing will remedy any of these situations. And it's something that you can do on your own and in your own way and within your own traditions and in a way that speaks to you. And you get to trust your own inner authority in doing that. I will share some different methods. Okay. I want to get some cards here and have a look. Yeah, this could be something that has come in that's created some kind of disruption in a home or some kind of instability in a home. This could be something that has come in from an old lover. This could be something that has come in to divide you from somebody that you have a connection with. There's a little bit of deception here. There's convincing argument to side with a particular individual in a situation, perhaps. And there's also a need to question motive in that regard. I think you're picking up energies around you. I think you do feel like you got some snakes in the grass. I think you're aware of a couple snakes in the grass. I think you're aware of a couple people who have been problematic in your life and are creating difficulties for you. And you may have kind of drawn down some boundary lines with these people, but I think you also can feel them still trying to like worm their way in. And I think you're right on the money about that. And I actually think you might be feeling something coming in before it's actually arrived on the scene. And I say that because there's like the shadow of these snakes kind of around you now. It's almost like you're picking up on the essence of something that's approaching. I think you got a couple snakes approaching you. These are really slick-tongued people, okay? They know how to weave a story for you. I also feel like there's something that needs to be transformed in this situation. What is the goal? It's to divide you from another in some way. You already have knowledge about this, I feel. I feel like you're in a place right now where you're really focusing on grounding, okay? Being really rooted. You're focused on your stability. Perhaps you had a connection challenged before. There's something that almost tore it apart, but you found your way to like anchor it in. You found your way to restabilize something here. And I do feel like you're acting on spiritual knowledge in this case. There's certain lessons you've already learned before. You don't really need to learn them again. And so now I feel it's a matter of like kind of like warding your space. And there's no wrong way to do that. Some of you may choose to ward with prayer, just to put protection around you and your family, and to give a peaceful sanctuary in your home. Some of you may want to work with plant allies, and I'll give you some recommendations, things that you can work with in that regard. But really, whatever plants are calling to you, those are the ones that really want to work with you, and you should trust your medicine, however it comes through. There's no wrong way to do that. You really have to trust your medicine. Is it good to understand foundations of things? Absolutely. But anytime you're doing an uncrossing, all you're doing is untying the knot. And that's good for anything caught up in that knot. That's good for any energies that may have become enmeshed with yours. That might be why you're dealing with an energy that is persistent. Like it keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. It keeps coming back. You think you've cleared it out. It keeps coming back. You continue to feel the reverberations of it. It keeps coming back. Why? There's a knot holding it in place. The knot came in on another sign. Who did that come in with? Pisces. They also had this challenge. So this could be connected to that house of Pisces. This could be a sabotaging influence. This could be a friend that's actually a sabotaging influence. This could be a sabotaging influence within yourself that you're not aware of, an inner saboteur, a subconscious motive that is coloring your experience. This could be a sabotaging situation that there's just no way to see any positive outcome in a situation, and it needs to be released. But maybe you're being gaslit, or someone's running a narrative that keeps you stuck in the loop of it. Whatever it is, it's cyclical enough that it's become a knot that needs to come undone. There's a certain settling of karma with this. And there's also a need to look at more kind of like humanitarian perspective, larger perspective, collective perspective, as in transmutation of a certain energy. I feel like it's affected you. It feels almost like, Ted says yes, it feels like you've been in some kind of holding pattern in your life, or you keep running into the same kind of scenario or the same kind of problem, or you try to get something to grow and it only reaches a certain level and then you start to encounter blockages. 1808 on the clock. So I know we're in the right direction here. This is the beginning of you getting on the right track, okay? 808 is about making the right moves, being on the right track. So I think this is something here you need to be mindful of. You may be questioning why, this energy is coming in. It could have been set in motion initially, and this is what's keeping it in a holding pattern. We got double eights here, okay? 26, 8, 17, 8, life path 8 could be factoring in here. This could also have to do with the 8th. 8 is significant in this situation. It's also about power. It's about manifestation. If you're wondering what this is about, why you might have certain problematic people continually coming at you, why you find yourself in the same kind of situations, or how this crossing got there in the first place, it might have had something to do with somebody trying to disrupt somebody's stability, cause disruption in their home, separating a home, all right? This could be somebody, a friend even, a snake in the grass is somebody you don't usually suspect, okay? This could be a friend who tried to drive a wedge between you and another, right? 8 could be a clue. There's some way that power has been used in a destructive way. I also feel like a lot of you have dealt with a figure in your life who held power over you, or who really tried to tell you who you are in such a way that they tried to diminish you. It comes through as gaslighting, trying to cause you to doubt your own intuition, trying to cause you to doubt your own feelings. trying to cause you to doubt your own perception of situations or the value of what you have to contribute. And in some way, you took it on. Like what was projected here, you took it on and you made it part of your story, and it's not part of your story, and it's not that needs to come undone. So there's a few ways to do this, okay? The first way, traditionally, if you wanted to work with kind of like a folk magic sort of approach, a rootsy sort of approach, would be to bring in some plant allies. And you can work with those plant allies in many different ways. And I am picking up a piece here that some of you are avid gardeners, some of you do work the land, some of you feel a real connection with herbalism. You're natural herbalists. You have skills in this area. Some of you make products too that are connected with, connected with the plants. You are really drawn to plant medicine, perhaps. You're drawn to more holistic approaches. I think this could also be a gift. It could be a gift of your bloodline. You just have this in you. It's in your roots. It might be something you want to learn more about, all right? I'm picking this up. Otherwise, I just feel like you feel a real connection to the earth, and I feel like with Cancer, if you're finding like it's hard to root certain things in your life, like if you're finding it difficult to root material stability or anything along these lines, what really helps Earth grow? Well, water helps Earth grow, and you are interrelated with each other, in the cycle of manifestation here. So it can be really helpful to take those things that grow from the earth to symbolize that state of abundance, that state of growth, that state of greenery, new beginnings, fresh things, also stuff that has roots, stuff that has grounding, stuff that has stability, and actually work with those essences to alleviate the issue and combine it with your essence, water. So making things like floor washes that are actually like steep teas, drinking it internally, taking baths or doing crown pour overs. And it's kind of a traditional approach with uncrossing, because a lot of people see 13 as a bad luck number. There's a lot of history around that. Really, 13 is a number of power, okay? It is a matter of having a real stable, rooted power, but there's a lot of reasons why it was cast into the darkness and viewed as something that's bad luck. It's BS. It's not bad luck. It's also associated with Freya, okay? And Freya is, interestingly, this is Freya here, and Freya is a goddess of the earth, of like real verdant earth, the growth, the lushness. And she's got a real strong, like resilience, like warrioress kind of energy there. So I feel like this could give you a little oomph at a time when you need it to start growing some things in your life. Traditionally, you work with 13 different plant allies. I'm going to share 13 with you right now. I do recommend that, maybe you can consider them. Maybe one will really ding to you. Maybe one will really speak to you, and you'll instantly be like, that's for me, yes, I've always been drawn to that plant, yes, I really want to use that. That feels right. Pay attention too, as I bring these different elements in, what you feel, how it resonates with you, okay? Because once you got the plants and you bring in your water, you steep it up, you can use it to like sort of boil things on the stove, and it gets the air, cleansed with that combination of the water and the earth. You know what I'm saying? You can add it to your bath water. You can do it as a crown pour over. You can make teas that you can drink. Make sure that you can take them internally before you do that, okay? You might not want to do that with some things, okay? So make sure you do your research. That's you. That's up to you. That's how you really grok the medicine and make it your own, by following the threads of connection, or when you feel a link, like, yeah, I really need to go and explore this, explore it, okay? It will lead you somewhere meaningfully, because that's when your soul's tugging on you. Some of you are natural healers, and you're really meant to activate that. Some of you turn to other people to heal you, and you actually have healing gifts of your own. You have empowerments of your own. They're meant to be shared, okay? Let's list them off, okay? Let's list them off, and then we'll go deeper into this, okay? Deeper into this. But I want to start out on this with you, and it's so key. And you may be wondering, why is she spending so much time on this? Because it's key. Until you get this knot out of the way, you're not going to be able to get where you need to go. You're not going to be able to root those things you want to root in your material reality. And you'll continue to have to fend off stuff that you don't want to deal with. So let's just untie the knot, okay? Agrimony, chamomile, dill, eucalyptus, hyssop. Hyssop is really good when somebody has used their words against you to cast you in a place of shame, or when somebody projected their guilt on you, okay? Hyssop. Anytime you're dealing with any trauma, something that's had you in a trauma loop, hyssop. Or maybe if you've ever done something that you're like, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish I would have thought twice. Hyssop is so beneficial, okay? Lemon, all parts of the lemon. The juice, the rind, the leaves. Lemon's great, all right? Lemon mint, all types of mint. It's great for warding. It's good for cooling down really inflammatory situations, inflammatory feelings. Patchouli leaves, rose petals, rosemary, rue, sage, okay? That's just for starters. There are many others you could use. There's an endless plethora of different herbs, plant allies you could bring in. Let them come to you. Let them court you. You know, if that resonates for you. And all you have to do is get 13 of them together, throw them in, you know, a pot of water, and let that thing simmer for 13 minutes. Make up a strong tea. All right. And then you can use that tea when you cool it down. You can do it as a crown pour over. You can add it to your bath water. You can take a rosemary sprig. You can dip it in it. You can asperge and cast the water into the corners of a room. All right. And to cast across your threshold. All right. You can use it to even, and I find it's really helpful if you're trying to cast off shame somebody's put on you. All right. You can take it and use that rosemary with that water and just do this like light, you know, patting with it all over your body. And you can stimulate the lymph to get it moving out of your body. You can add it to a floor wash and wash your floors with it. You can use it to consecrate sacred items that you have on your altar if you keep an altar. Many different ways you can work with it. You can also work with oils. You can make yourself an anointing oil as well, okay? If you got a really persnickety situation, like, oh, it's just been here for years, I can't get it to move, add a little vinegar in there. That'll do it. That really is good for clearing out residual energy. It was 29 on the clock when I brought that in. Then it went 29:03. So yes, that'll be very helpful, especially if you got, I don't know why this is coming in, especially if you got guide energy that had come in for you before and you're not digging that energy you're working with any longer. All right. All right. I'm talking about like spirit guides, or if you've been, you know, working with an energy, you know, that at one point you felt aligned with it, but it doesn't feel aligned anymore. Or there may not be anything wrong with, you know, a particular angel you've been aligning with, working with, anything like this, okay? But it might be that it really links you to a particular time in your life. So every time you work with that energy, it's like it's still knotted in to that time and space, and like a light is wanting to dim out there, right? Okay, let's do a cut of the deck on this. So where things are feeling weird at home, right? The energy feels off, or if there's been arguments or disruption in the home, or pipes bursting, or some kind of like things going awry on the home front where things aren't functioning properly, or if there's been arguments, it's because of this. There's somebody trying to create some instability here, or this was the this is the root of it, okay? I'm not saying they're actively doing this now. I think maybe they had in the past. They could be coming back around the bend to go for another round of this. Why? Because there's a knot in this situation. It's holding the energy in place. So work with this in whatever way you want, okay? I think it can be very beneficial. And the light went out over here. So I'm telling you, there is something to this energy that wants to dim the light. And you got to counterbalance it. Think of it as cleaning off sludge. It's just residual energy. Think of it as like a psychic imprint. Even if you just went through a really heavy situation, right? And it left its mark on you. Oof, it left you with some kind of trauma. You can't stop thinking about it. You feel really angry about it. You feel resentful about it, or really hurt. And it's just hanging over you. It's helpful to get off the sludge. Think of it as cleaning off that film, you know? Think of it that way. It's almost like having a film over your aura, okay? That just does not allow any new energy to come in. And so your frequency is aligned with the film, the gunk from what happened back here and what has been projected that you took on, right? I feel like you're really getting free of this. And this is a key for you. This will open your road. You'll instantly feel an energy shift. Because the thing is, Cancer, I feel like you have something really valuable that you're meant to share. And you're not supposed to be in the shadows or bound up in some karmic loop. And in fact, there's some kind of blessing energy that wants to come in here for you. And I feel like as soon as you take this gift, it's almost like, you know, Spirit's coming through right now and they're giving you a gift. They're saying, look, it's this simple to untie this knot and get yourself free of this cycle and get moving forward in a beautiful new way. And it was 32:33 on the clock. This is a building block here. This is something that will take you to the next level where you feel like you've been blocked. It's going to get you to the other side of that hurdle here. It's also going to break up this monotonous cycle. It's like you keep having the same energy loop back around. You clear it out, it comes back around. Maybe you've done cleansings before. An uncrossing is different. It really is. When you're doing it with this intention of uncrossing and you're working with, you know, the 13 plant allies with the 13, you know, minutes of steeping it. And it's also helpful if you work with some kind of psalm or some kind of affirmation, you know, something that is healing, something that aligns you with that vibration of love 13 times. Something 33 on the clock. Psalm 33 may be coming in for somebody. I just had to bring that in there, okay? Whatever was blocking the way is going to get out of the way. And it breaks the loop. You'll see results instantaneously. You might want to do this with the new moon. New moon is tomorrow. Next day is when it starts to go into its light building phase. So, I mean, you could kick this off with the new moon. You could do it if you wanted to. You could do it and you could build it up until Lionsgate, up until the 8th. You know what I'm saying? I think if you do that, you know, you're going to really feel a big difference as you step through that gate. If you wanted to go really full on with it and you've been at this for like a long time and you haven't gotten any relief in your situation, I definitely recommend doing it for 13 days straight. And, you know, there, you can do it on all different levels. So you don't have to do everything, you know, for all the 13 days. You know, maybe one day you drink a tea, you know, you brew up a tea. Another day, you know, you do your floors, you know, you wash your floors. Another day you do a crown pour, you know, and when you're washing your floors, work with your affirmation, work with your intention, work with your songs, you know, work with your prayers. It has a powerful effect. And I feel like you're going to see something turn around right quick with it. Look at this. Yep. Opens your road, brings through some kind of wish fulfillment, I have to say, too. Something that should have come in a long time ago for you. But it's like you've been holding yourself back from receiving it because you're tied up to this old energy that at one point blotted out your sun, right? Something to be mindful of here. Really interesting message as that was coming through. Let's look a little deeper. I mean, I know that's quite a download to open up with. Look at this. Yeah, and then you'll be right up to that north node, stepping into your power with the Emperor here. You know, this is good energy, north node activation. This is you coming into power. It's also you being the authority in your life. You don't need somebody else to tell you who you are, what you have to offer, or anybody micromanaging over you or putting you in your place. No, you shine in your own right, Cancer, okay? And there is something here where I do feel like it opens your road and you do get to a place where you're finally moving forward to the place where you belong. It feels good. And not only the place where you belong, but a place where your contributions are appreciated. People recognize you for who you are. And if you've had any problems with, you know, maybe a father with the Emperor energy coming in there, or a husband, or, you know, a serious partner in your life on any level. Okay, this could be on a business level even. I feel like where there was some kind of division that was created, some kind of problems that were created, I feel like you're getting on the same page. You're getting things balanced out in this situation. All right, so let's have a look here. Yes, you're getting through this and you're able to work something out here. You're coming to a place where it's not going to be so hard to get things to move forward. What you're doing here will work for you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it has a momentum all its own. The reason why something hasn't been working is because there's been this knot in place. So it just kind of keeps a similar energy coming back around again and again and again. You free yourself from this though, and I do feel like where you felt held back in work, or you felt like you weren't really generating the kind of progress you wanted to see or the financial return, I do see this coming in for you. I also see that you'll really be enjoying your work. You're going to have a lot of opportunities open up for you in regard to this. Who knows, maybe even something along these lines might feed into your work, especially if, you know, you experience the benefits of this and you are an herbalist or you do that kind of work. You may decide to make blends, you know. You may become a bit of an apothecary, I have to say. So this is something to look at here. Let's dive in. What else wants to come in here for Cancer for the Leo season? All right, so it looks like you need to uncross yourself so you can get out of these crossroads. You can start seeing some return on your investment in energy. And also you can bring forward whatever this is you're meant to share. I feel like there's something that you have to share that you have been holding back from doing, maybe because you have some, you know, lack of confidence in a particular area, or because somebody at one point put down your contribution or didn't see the value of what you had to offer, or it's old stuff within yourself that you need to heal, that you're getting through and getting to the other side of. This is, I mean, this looks good, I have to say. Yeah, look at this star. Okay, so this is beautiful energy coming in. And look, there's the cleansing piece. So yes, do some cleansing here. Work with your element. There could be an Aquarius on the scene in this situation, and you could be dealing with an issue that does involve a group of people. This could be just like feeling like, where's my community? Where do I fit in? Where do I really belong? You know, and you might be trying to connect with the right kind of community that feels really supportive to you and that recognizes what you have to offer. And you're really trying to figure out what that looks like, and where it does feel like you're disconnected or you're finding a hard time finding where you fit. Again, I think that has something to do with how the inner is causing a distorted reflection, which is what happens with a crossed condition, okay? I feel like there's a lucky cycle coming in here for you. where you're going to find your cup is going to be filled. And it brings a new sense of hope into your life. I also feel like it brings a healing your way. This may have been something that you've actually wished for, longed for. Maybe you've just really longed to find your community or find, find like your people. Who are my people? Where do I belong? I do feel like you're finding that, okay? And there's some healing that you're experiencing here. And for those of you, some of you might be going to school for herbalism or something like that. You want to learn more about it. You want to perhaps really, pursue a career and a study of this. I think that's excellent. I think you'll connect with people that, they really see things the way you do. I don't know. I see you like going to the hot springs together to like chill out. I mean, anybody who's worked in kind of a holistic field knows all about that. I worked in Ayurveda. I've worked as a massage therapist, like about like a lot of years under my belt doing that work, like a lot of years under my belt doing that work since I was 21 years old. So, I got like 30 years under my belt doing that kind of work. And I'll tell you, we would always go and do things like that. You go on retreats in nature and you like chill out in the hot springs, or, you enjoy hanging out in the hot tub together, you go camping together. So I do feel like, maybe you're entering into some realm of study here, and you're going to connect with people that, you have like real connections with, a different kind of quality of connection than you've had before. This could even be like going on some kind of like spiritual retreat or yoga retreat or something like this, right? You may have ideas about this, something you want to create yourself. There could be an Aquarius that's also offering you an opportunity to get into some line of work, all right? This is about expanding your network. It's about finding your community. For some of you, you're actually bringing this into your work that you're doing, and you're experiencing a real healing that you want to share with others. You want to share with others what you've learned, and you got special gifts here to share. You may be expanding your work online. You may want to do work online. You may want to reach more people. You may want to travel and do this work, set up workshops in different locations. I got all this kind of energy coming in. Something here is giving you hope. I don't know why with this star, but with this star in particular, I'm getting really the feeling of, your path and what you want to grow for yourself, your dream. It feels very independent to you. This may, in some cases, be independent of like your partner's vision of what they think you should do. This could have either been in a business partnership, which is why you had to kind of like pull away from this energy, maybe why you need to create some distance in this situation. For others of you, it could be your romantic partner, or it could be a father, some significant relationship that maybe you do look to when you make certain choices, certain decisions. There's something here about this is just for you, and it's about you investing in your dream and trusting your vision here, even if other people don't get it. I think there's something that does take off. There's something that grows for you. All right. If you have the courage to follow your own rhythm and trust your own voice and what you have to share, and just do it. Do it. Take the leap. Put yourself out there. All right. Yeah. Look at this. This is cool. I love this. This is beautiful energy. Do you see? 4 wands right there. This is you coming into alignment. This is beautiful energy. Really beautiful energy. And see, the road opens. You know what I'm saying? You uncross yourself. 44:11 on the clock. My goodness, the synchronicity. Right? Those are your power numbers. It seems like everybody's getting them with these downloads. So 44 is your sign of, yep, you're on track. You're on track for your manifestation. This is a good step, a good foundational step. So when you see 44 come up, pay attention to what you're doing. Do more of that. And 11, of course, we all know 11. That's about coming into that beautiful synchronicity, alignment, what's meant for you, okay? 44 on the clock. You got a lot of assistance on your side. You got something that's being orchestrated with a little divine play. You may be feeling really called to work with angelic energy, right? In that case that we brought up before, maybe it's time to bring a new angel in. Maybe you need to revisit that, right? Or maybe if it's been a while since you worked with a particular angel and you've been feeling really stuck, it does tie back to that time, that you felt you were going through something difficult and you called on their help the first time. Maybe it's time to revisit that. Maybe their energy can help you untie a particular knot. This is alignment. This is arrival. This is finding where you belong. This is graduation for some of you. Okay, this is spiritual graduation. Okay, you made it through a particular initiation. You're on the other side. For others of you, this is graduating from, your studies. Maybe you do decide to go into some kind of holistic career path. This is graduating a certain life lesson, getting to the other side of it. There's mutual appreciation here too. There's people who are recognizing what you have to offer. They're recognizing your contribution. You're getting your flowers here. This is also about real stability in your home, real stability in your connections, in your relationship. Maybe that relationship that had been challenged before. You can trust in this. Oh, I love this energy. Look at this. You can trust in this. This is beautiful. Do you see? You can trust in this. You can just let go and trust in this. The Four of Swords. Rest easy. Rest easy. There's a truth that you're resting on here, where you have had heartache, or you have had grief, or where you do feel wounded. There is something coming in to bring you justice and balance in this situation. This is you learning with the Page of Pentacles. This is you learning the lessons of the South Node. You're not stuck there anymore. You're not stuck in the past. This is a balancing of karma. This is paid in full, and really wild with this. Paid in full. Right behind that, what do we got here? The Devil. This devil has been paid in full. You owe nothing here. You owe nothing here anymore. So I see you getting free of this. And you're closing this cycle with the world. It opens your road. It gives you success. There's a brand new beginning on the other side of this. It all begins here once you untie this knot. You could be dealing with any of the fixed sign energies. You could be dealing with an Aquarius. You could be dealing with a Leo. You could be a Cancer, Leo, Cusper. And this is something that's really just like really resonating for you strongly. You could be dealing with a Taurus. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. But there's something that really comes to such a beautiful point of arrival, getting on the other side of this and getting this devil behind you. Right? I also see this as you rising up into your power. You're not going to be chained to anything that wants to hold you back or keep you small any longer. And with this, look, you're charging forward. I love it. It's like you're bringing your fire forward. It opens your road, and from there you blaze a trail. It gets you moving forward quickly. You have passion in your life. You have purpose in your life. You have drive in your life, you have ambition in your life, and you have free passage just to get where you need to go. That's beautiful. Let's do a cut of the deck, okay? Let's see, you could be dealing with a Capricorn. You could be dealing with a Libra. I feel like that's also like Libra South Node energy. We got Earth sign energy here too. Taurus comes in, again, strong. Capricorn comes in strong, okay? Virgo, very, very good energy though. I like this, right? Okay, let's do, there's a reason why it says, cleanliness is next to godliness. It takes endless purification. Anytime we're doing deep spiritual work, or we're going through something heavy in our lives, when we can take on projections, or, just be in a space, like we take on the spirit of things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I view certain maladies, I view it in a very almost like a shamanistic perspective. So if somebody's depressed, I often see that as they've taken on the spirit of depression. They're afflicted by the spirit of depression. Yes, I understand that there's actual physical ramifications of that. Of course there is, because anytime anything manifests, first it's in the ether before it even comes into physical form. But there's something very real here about that, where it's like visiting a place in your psychology for extended period of times can also become an animate thing, and it animates through you. It can become the spirit of that place in time. I love how this is coming through, though, just because it really does show that if you cast this out 50-50, yeah, if you cast this right now, it's 50-50. It's like, it could go either way. It could go either way if you continue to kind of like entertain this energy. I feel that like you really got to get decisive here, and trust your own judgment here. You move forward quickly. Look at that. I can't make it up on the split. Ace of Pentacles, there's your new beginning right there. Woo! To the Nine of Pentacles. I don't lie. Where you were wanting to see growth, here it comes. Okay, so I shared this with you. This is something you can do for yourself. Another thing you can do is you can use these plants to do smoke cleansing with too. Okay, any plants you're drawn to, trust. Okay, you can do that in harmony with this. I do recommend smoke blends, 13 of them. There's power in it. There is. There's power in it. You can also use the residue, the ashes from those smoking herbs when you do your smoke cleansing, and you can mix them with sea salt, and that makes a warding salt. You can put that over your threshold. You can put a pinch in each corner of the room. It's great for just keeping the energy clean. This will help. This will help. And if it's really stubborn, just add a little vinegar to the floor wash. It helps. Add a little vinegar to the bath water. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But let it be about you. You're cleansing you. You're cleansing your environment. You don't direct this at another. That's when old scratch. Okay? Could have the upper hand. This is about uncrossing. It's uncrossing yourself. Untying the psychological, energetical, spiritual knots within yourself that are keeping you stuck in this loop, that you're wanting to free yourself from. And when you do, wow, it looks good, man. Okay? It looks really good. And yes, it could have been because somebody put something on you. It could have been that you had something projected on you. And sometimes what's projected, it's not spell work. It's judgments. It's gaslighting. It's ways you were shamed. It's ways you learn to hide parts of yourself. And it comes from a very young part of yourself. I think you're in a process of rebellion here. So let's just get you an overarching theme with a Sacred Rebels card here, looking on the bottom. I love it. Look at that. There's a 7 energy. Release the dark wound. Let love live. You could very well be a Cancer, Leo, cusper. Okay. This is about really just releasing, letting go, trusting the flow. Once this is cleared out for you, once you uncross yourself, there's so much that wants to pour into you. You'll be able to receive. That's what's happening right now is you can't receive because you got a big knot in your heart. That's how it's coming through. You got a big knot in your heart. Maybe even sometimes you really feel it there, You feel the tightness there. You feel the tension in your chest. You feel the way you hold yourself. You notice that you often round your shoulders forward. You find yourself sleeping in fetal position, you're always kind of bound up in this area. Work with some chest expansion exercises too. Lay on your back on a physio ball and just open your arms, it helps. Okay. Yeah. Because you're getting to the other side of this storm. Look at that with the Merkaba there. This is transformation coming in. Some of you may feel called to work with Metatron. Some of you may be dealing with a Sagittarius in this situation, or you may have strong Sagittarian placements in your chart. Some of you are meant to really expand into your spiritual growth. It's like you're getting into this rapid cycle here with your spiritual growth. Some of you are really growing as alchemists here. Some of you are gaining access to hidden knowledge. Some of you are really, getting through the other side of something rough that's really activating some wisdom within you that's meant to be shared. You might want to work with Metatron. He's really good for transmuting lower vibrational energies. Good archangel to work with here. And whatever this is, it's like it opens your road. It gets you moving forward. I like this. I like this. Okay, overarching theme for Cancer, please. Ah, look at that. Follow your own rhythm. What did I say? And for that piece that came in, any of you who were ever shamed in any way because of your dance, whether that was how you danced, your own unique rhythm, your own unique flow, your body type, right? Your age, your gender, okay? In any way, if anybody ever shamed you for your own unique dance, in order to uncross yourself, you might want to consider, dancing some of it out. Sweat your prayers. But this is about you finding your own rhythm in your life, because I feel like for way too long with these energies that have been attached to you, this knot that's held the energy in place, it's like you've been dancing to others' tune. You've been letting them set the pace, set the rhythm. You've been, following their steps. And this is about you taking the lead. And I have a feeling your dance card is about to be full. I have to say, I think it'll bring a lot of opportunities your way. Change is coming in here. And the change is good. And you could be dealing with a life path 5 in regard to this, okay? Do one cut of the deck here. See what we got. Yes, look at this. I love it. Listening for truth. This is all about you trusting your inner knowing. And I do feel, again, there's that peace, connecting with your element, connecting with the water, connecting with memory too. Those conch shells, they symbolize memory, so there's something here too, like recovering a forgotten memory. I think some of you may be having a bit of that come up. It's possible it may have made you really sensitive. You might have some resurfacing memories, right? This might be part of the knot. There might be something beyond that, though, that once you cleanse this away, you'll have other memories awaken in you. Memories of certain gifts you have that you're here to share. Do you see look at that flower of life in the backdrop there, okay? Yeah, big angel energy coming in, creative energy here. And there's something about really listening for your own truth, trusting your own perspective in a situation, trusting your own intuition, listening to where you feel guided to go at this time. It's important. And look at this, beautiful. And once you get beyond the mind and once you trust this flow, look at that activation of the DNA, of the bloodline. There's elevation here too with the stairway that's going on up. There's just this connection with all of life. There's the birth of a new beginning here. There's beauty coming in and answered prayers, awareness, vision, and peace. And it's beyond the mind that the heart beats. So trust. Trust what's stirring in your heart now. It won't lead you astray.